Welcome back to another video, everyone. So over the past week I started a brand new Crash Twinsanity series and I've had quite a few questions asking how I emulate this game. It's not completely perfect. When the cutscenes come on, they are a little bit darker than they should be, but if you're not bothered about that, then you can try and use my settings because at least the game is running. You can actually play through the game with these settings on. A lot of people have issues when it comes to graphical errors, so like you might experience stuff like this, which is, I mean, it's playable, it works, but do you really want to play the game like this? Absolutely not. So I'm going to show you what I did to fix stuff like this, and I'm also going to show you how to emulate it in pretty good quality as well. If we go over to Config, Video, Plugin Settings, for renderer, I use Direct 3D11 hardware. That won't fix the issue itself though. What you want to do is go down to Config, Video, Plugin Settings, then you go to configure hacks. You want to type in, it tells you actually, what does it tell you? Yeah, there it is. It tells you to put a number between 1 and 100. So if you put something like 3, that actually just completely fixed it for me. Again, the cutscenes get a bit darker. They still work and they function properly. They're just darker than they should be. But the game itself works. I mean, if you're going to experience glitches, it's probably just Twinsanity itself, because this game is a glitch fest. But that should fix your graphical errors. I mean, it does for me. You might need a decent computer to run it. I'm not entirely sure. Personally, I use, well, you can see my GPU here, NVIDIA GeForce RTX 2070 Super, Intel i9 processor, and 32 gigs of RAM. I'm sure you don't need anything close to that for it to actually run. I feel like specs are going to be more important for this next part. So that's how to fix graphical errors. That's all good. But if you want the game to look better, you want to up the internal resolution. So I currently use 6x native. I'll show you the difference because you don't need to use this if you just want to play through the game. It's just going to be in this quality. And if you don't mind this, then that's fine. As you can see, it doesn't look as good, but it's still more than playable. This is what I recommend if you don't have the best computer, but if you do have a good computer, depending on how good it is, bump up the resolution. So if you've got a really good computer, you could probably go on 8x native. This is what 8x the resolution looks like. I would use this, but I personally, I'm going to stick with 6. But looking at the close-up of Crash, you can just see how much of a difference this makes. Again, only do this if you've got a decent computer. It's absolutely not necessary at all. I am not a PC guy at all. I hardly know what any of these settings actually mean, but these work for me. So if you want to copy them, go ahead. Now what I've noticed is these settings don't work for every Crash PS2 game. We'll switch over to Tag Team Racing and I'll show you what I mean. We're on Tag Team Racing. These are the exact same settings, 6x native resolution. You can see it looks good. I mean, by looking at Crash, look how clear that is. But if you're looking at Crash, you've also probably noticed this, another graphical error. Get out of here, kid. And again, I'm no PC guy, but I just tried out a few different settings. So I changed Direct 3D11 to OpenGL hardware. That way I can still use all of this. Click OK, and it's gone. And this is how I now play Tag Team Racing on the emulator. Also, by the way, a little tip, because I wasn't doing this at first, but you can change settings while you're on the game. You don't have to restart every time you want to try a new setting. That's what it looks like without the native resolution changes. Again, it still looks more than playable. In fact, this is how I used to play the games last year. So we'll try one more game out, Crash of the Titans. I'll go back to the Twinsanity settings just to see if that works. As you can see, this game also has the Tag Team Racing issues. So I don't know what the cause of that is. I don't know why it does that. We'll change it back to OpenGL hardware. But yeah, that works, and we can play Titans normally. But anyway, that's my answer to the questions I've been getting over the past week. How to get rid of the graphic errors on Twinsanity and the other games as well. Thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Definitely subscribe if you're new here, and I will see you all in my next video.